Alright, let's get back into it. Today we're going to be doing a bald fade, it's going to be a mid fade, and it's going to be a comb over. So the first thing I'm going to do to establish my shape is I'm going to be cutting the hair along the parietal ridge with my scissors. The reason why I was doing that is because I want the shape and I want to create the structure for the base of my haircut, and I'm going to follow that. I'm following it up now with a number 3 guard, just debulking this left side of the head, making sure to not go over that line that I just cut in. I'm going to follow it up with my 1.5 guard lever all the way open, and I'm going into exactly where I cut and flicking out. Now the next thing I'm going to do to help with my shape and to create that foundation is I'm going to create my bald line. Now I've been setting it in with my clippers, not all the way closed, just one notched back, and it's been working wonders. I'll follow it up with my trimmers just to bald it out completely. Next thing I'm going to do is, following that shape, I'm going to create in that bottom line with my no guard lever open technique. Then I'm going to follow it up with a number 1 guard, really making sure to stay under that line that I had just created with the 1.5 guard. Just slowly closing the lever as well, so that I can blend out that line. And if you do it right, sometimes you don't even need to use the half guard, but in my case, I'm going to be jumping right into that half guard because I wasn't able to flick out that line completely. So same steps, slowly closing it because I'm starting with it all the way open, and you're going to see that little darkness start to come out. Now, always start with my lever open. It ensures that you don't push up the blend, and working with the longest hair down to the shortest hair. And as you can see, that line's already almost taken out completely. I'm just going to be doing a little bit of detail work just to finish it out. Once I'm done with that half guard or the 0 guard, depending on which guard system you're using in the guard company, I'm going to be using my no guard lever open. I'm going to be doing lever play, which just means that you go from one length to another, to another, to another, to another, and you're playing with that lever, opening it and closing it until that line gets blended out. Now I'm just going to be doing a natural parting right here, separating the hair so that I can follow up and do scissor over comb or shear over comb, just to get any of the extra hairs that I wasn't able to get. This just makes sure that when the hair lays over, it's not like laying over, it's blended in smoothly with that blend up into that bulkiness. I always do this after I have the cut. You can do clipper over comb as well. Either way, it gets the same effect. I also know people that do thinning shears. It's all personal preference depending on what you want to do. And now I'm creating a hard part. My guy likes to put in a hard part every time we do the haircut, so that's what we're doing. We're going to make sure that this cut pops out even more, adding some lines in there. Now I'm just doing some more detail work with my scissors, just getting any dark spots that I see. Now I'm going to follow this around. Now I'm going to follow this along the back side of the head, along that crown area and that, like occipital bone area, just creating that same shape. And I'm going to be following up the same steps, putting in my line, my bald line, and then I'm going to follow it up with a number 3 guard. It's a little bit thicker in the back, and he's got a little bit more hair, so it's more dense per square inch, so I followed it up with the number 2 guard to debulk it and lighten it up a little bit more. Immediately followed up with my number 1.5 guard. Now I'm just going to be taking off that extra hair that was bothering me. Now I'm going to create my bald line just to create that shape. Follow it up right after that with the number 1 guard, because the last thing I'm going to be doing is taking out my bald line. And I'm just slowly closing the lever, guys, starting with it all the way open, halfway, and then fully closed. And that's how I'm going to be able to take out that bottom line, because I like to blend down. So now I went straight into my no guard lever open, and I'm just going to be doing lever play, just slowly closing that lever until that bottom line is blended out. And I actually didn't have to use a half guard in the back. I know in the beginning I mentioned sometimes you don't have to, and that's the instance where you don't. So I skipped a guard, went from a 1 straight down to a 0. Well, no guard. Same thing on this side, guys. I debulked, creating my guideline with that lever open, following it up with the number 1 guard, slowly closing the lever to get out that line that I created with the number 1. On this side, I actually have to use my half guard, as you can see, and I zoomed in a little bit so I could show you, that darkness that we're going to be taking out. I'm slowly flicking out my wrist. I'm moving up, not a whole lot, just very small strokes with the clipper, and I'm using the corner of my blade to lighten up that line. The more you close the lever, the more hair you're going to take off, so just be mindful of that. And as you're going through the steps and blending down, every time you close the lever, it's going to get closer and closer to removing that bottom line. And don't be afraid to go up into the hair, just make sure to flick out like a C motion, like you're flicking towards yourself. Now the final step to complete this side of the blend is we're going to have our guard off, lever all the way open, and we're slowly going to close it. I blend down, so I like to take the bald line out last. And what really helps to ensure this, just have your tools set, make sure they're gapped properly so that each tool goes into the next. My trimmer goes into my lever closed, etc. Each guard will follow in place. So you can see it's really simple. Just be patient, make small minimal movements, and it'll blend out. See? All that is clean. And then next up, what I'm going to be doing is creating my guideline to where I want the hair to blend in, and that's going to create this foundation for how I cut and style the hair up top. So now I'm combing all the hair over to where I want it to sit, and I'm combing the hair at the recession point. This is where I'm going to be cutting the hair. I'm not taking the hair over the hairline. I'm bringing it back to that recession point because I want the hair all to sit there in the front, meaning the bangs. I want the bangs to sit there, and I'm going to follow it all the way to the left side of the head to that left recession point, and then I'm going to work my way back. So now I'm creating a triangle section, and I'm going to comb this hair towards the parietal ridge. I'm going to take 4 sections, 4 to 5 sections. This right here, what I'm doing is just ensuring that everything's even and everything is sitting properly to where I want it to cut. And this will be your guideline and the foundation and the start of where you cut. Taking a vertical section, combing it towards the parietal ridge, and I'm going to take 4 sections, 1 inch to 1.5 inches each. When I take that section, I'm going to take it at a 90-degree angle directly off the head because I want this side to be a square shape, because he has that hard part on the other side. So I'm doing this 4 times, making 1 to 1.5 inch sections, scooping the comb, lifting 90 degrees off of the head and cutting all those loose ends off. That's why it's really important to make sure everything is even when you're cutting. This way, that guideline on that parietal ridge sets the foundation and it shows you where all of that hair is supposed to lay. If you have that, you'll be golden and everything will fall into one another. It's like a big puzzle piece. Now I'm going to be working towards the top of the head, the apex, and I'm doing the same steps. What I did previously with those 4 sections, that sets my guideline for how I'm going to cut the rest of the head. While I'm taking my vertical section right here, scooping the hair and bringing it up, you can see right where my fingertips are and right where my nails are. It's shorter. That is where we just cut, and that's what determines where you're going to cut next. Now I'm just point cutting because I want to add a little bit of texture to the top of his head. So I'm still following the same steps, taking the hair back, scooping it with the comb, and I'm just going to cut what is long and what is, hanging over the head so that when it does lay in style, it's not overlapping, it's all going to fall uniform, and it's all going to fall in proper place. Now that the top is all cut, now it's time to blow dry and style. And this is one of my favorite parts of the haircut, just because you really get to show off what you just did. So first thing I did was with warm heat, just blow dried the hair forward, and now I'm gonna blow dry it backwards into the shape that I want. I always start with high heat, and then I finish it with cool heat to lock that hair in place, because you just warmed it up. It opened up the outer layers of the hair follicle, and now you want to lock it in place. Once I'm done with that, I'm just going straight into the beard. I'm going to be blending it down into his to the bulk of the beard. As you can see, just blended it in. Did a 1.5, 1 guard, half guard, and then into a 0. Now I'm just lining them up, and you can see, man, this blend is really coming together once you hit those lines. And you know, when people have beards, the best thing is when you line them up, man, that haircut just pops. And their reaction is always the best because they're always surprised, they're always shocked. They can't think it can't get any better. And then you hit it with that straight razor and it just makes everything that much better. So I'm just doing this C-cup action right now, just slowly using the corner of my blades. The 3 teeth, last 3 teeth of the blade is what I use when I'm using the corners. And I'm just lightly tapping that vertical bar so that it gives it some definition, and it allows that corner of that C-cup and that vertical bar to stick out a little bit. Same thing on this side, making sure to not take that top line too low. Don't want to take it down too much, just mashing it up with the other side. And whenever I use the straight razor, I always get the upper cheek first, and I always clean that off because there's always little baby hairs. And my biggest complaint whenever someone would do my beard in the barbershop was the hair on my upper cheek and underneath my eye was always there. Even the baby hairs I could still see. So I always make sure to get that done. I'm pulling on his ear, stretching that skin so I get that nice crispy line. Now, just following up again, just getting all the extra hairs, just doing some extra work, you know, just making sure that he's nice and crisp, fresh. Going over, making sure that he blows a bubble or puffs his cheek out. So making sure that I can get every hair possible. Now it's time to add the product. I'm using Slick Gorilla's pomade. I actually accidentally ordered this. I meant to get the light work, so I've been using this for the past 2 months now. And I actually love it. It's a very good product. It's got a little bit of a stronger hold, a little bit shinier, and every client I've used it on has loved it. Well, that's the cut. Styling it now with my 6-tooth comb. And now I'm just making sure everything lays in place. And here's the final result. Thanks for watching, guys. You know, if there's anything that helped you out or anything that you'd like to see a little bit more of, make sure to leave a comment down below. And if this video has helped you in any way, shape, or form, make sure to like it. Make sure to share it. I hope these tips and these tricks and, you know, and these tutorials are really helping you out to get you better. Looking forward to bring more content to you guys, some reviews down the road. But right now my main focus is, you know, getting these tutorials out. So make sure to watch them and learn from them, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.